Hello everyone, welcome to Amit IT. My name is Amit, and today we are going to take one mock interview of student whose name is Shubham Pau. Shubham is learning Java plus Spring Boot from last 45 days in Amit IT. So let's start with his interview. Hey, hi Shubham, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine.
Okay, so Shubham, let's start with your introduction. So tell me about yourself and your technical skills.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. My name is Shubham Pahu. I'm from Nasik, but currently staying in Pune. I completed my bachelor's degree in computer science from KVN College, Nasik in 2022, and also completed my master's degree in computer application from Ferguson College, Pune in 2024. And recently, I have joined Amit IT from 1.5 months to improve my technical skill. And talking about my skill, I have good knowledge of hooks, basis of Spring Boot, transaction, Hibernate, and Spring Data JPA and collection. That's all about me.
Okay, so in 1.5 month, you learn about this much of thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, let's start with the basic things, and then we'll move toward some other topics. Okay, but just I want to check your basics.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
tell me about the polymorphism.
Okay. Polymorphism in Java is ability to take object more than in one form. We can achieve polymorphism by using method overloading and method overriding. If you want, then I can explain each of them.
Okay, so can you tell me about the overriding?
Okay. Uh, If we are not satisfied with the parent class implementation, then we can override that method into the child class. But for overriding, method name must be same, input argument must be same, return type can be same or covariant, and access specifier can be same, or we can increase the scope of access specifier into the child class. This process is known as method overriding and also known as runtime polymorphism.
Okay, so can you tell me the difference between interface and abstract class?
Okay. Basically, abstract class is declared with the abstract keyword and interface is declared with interface keyword. In abstract class, we have both concrete and abstract method. In the case of interface, we have only public abstract methods. And in abstract class, variables are public private protected. And in the case of interface, variables are public static final and abstract class constructor is present, but the use of constructor is used to initialize the state of object. And in the case of interface, there is no constructor present. And in the case of interfaces, if we are writing any method inside the interface, then compulsory we have to override that method into the child class. And suppose we don't want to override any method into the child class, so compulsory we have to make that child class as abstract. That's
Oh,
all about interface and abstractness.
okay, perfect. So you said that you know about the collection, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me the difference between array and collection?
Okay. Okay. Arrays are fixed in size, whereas collection is growable. And in the case of array, we can store only homogeneous data. And in the case of collection, we can store any types of variables like data types. And in arrays, we use indexing. In the case of collection, there is no indexing. And if you want to store the group of objects, then we can go for array. And if you want to store the same type of elements, then we can go for array.
Okay, so you mean to say in the collection we can store multiple types of data types, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, can you tell me about the least versus set?
Okay. Basically, in list, duplicates are present, and in the set, there is no duplicator. Duplicate in set, in list, insertion order is maintained, and in the set there is no insertion order, and we can store any number of null values or null element inside the list. But in the case of set, we don't store the null elements or null values.
Okay. So can you tell me what are the implementation of the list?
Okay, basically there are three implementation like array list, linked list, and vector.
Okay, so can you tell me the difference between vector and array list?
Okay, uh, array list. In the case of array list is a class that implements the list interface, and whereas vector is a class that implements also list interface. And in array list store the data in the form of dynamic array, whereas vector also store the data in the form of dynamic array. In array list, there is duplicate elements are allowed. In the case of vector, there is duplicate elements allowed, but the one point is vector is synchronized and vector is thread safe, whereas array list is not.
Okay, so performances, which one is good?
The performance wise, vector is good. Vector is bad and array list is good.
Okay, okay. So, okay, so can you tell me, is array list good for reading operation?
Yes, array list is good for reading operation.
And what about insertion and writing operation?
Okay. For insertion and writing operation, array list is not good.
Okay, why? It is not good for insertion.
So, to insert any element in the middle of the array list, it will create a new array of its default size and copy paste old element to the new array. It's a costly operation and it will impact on our performance. That's why
Okay,
array list is not good for.
okay, are you talking about writing operations, right? Or
Yes.
insertion?
Yes.
Okay, so what about insertion? Writing, that is fine. In the writing
Okay.
operation,
Okay.
you are seeing that it will create a new array,
Okay.
okay, to grow the size and to copy paste. But what
Yeah.
about insert? I want to insert any elements between the array
Okay.
list. Then what will
Okay.
happen? Hmm.
Suppose we have to try inserting any element in the middle of the array list,
Hmm.
then it will perform n number of shifting operation.
Okay, good, good. Okay, so coming to the set. So, what are the implementation of the set?
Okay. Basically, there are three implementation, three to four, like hash set, link hash set, and a tree set and sorted set.
Okay, so can you tell me about the Spring Data JPA?
Yes. Okay, sir. JPA stands for Java Persistent API. With the help of JPA, we can connect with database and perform some database operations like create, read, update, and delete. JPA provides some interfaces like JPA repository, code repository, list code repository, paging and sorting repository, and those interfaces provide some abstract methods. And at the runtime, JPA create one proxy class, and with the help of that implementation, Hibernate can execute SQL query and save the data.
Good. Mm, okay, so tell me about the final keyword.
Okay. Basically, final is a keyword in Java. When we use final keyword as a class level, then no one can create child class of that class. When we use final keyword as a method level, so no one can override that method into the child class. When we use final keyword as a variable level, so no one can reassign value for that variable. That's all
Oh,
about final keyword.
okay, perfect. So can you tell me about the transaction in Spring?
Okay. Basically, transaction is a single unit of work that must be executed fully or not at all. And transaction provided by Spring Data GPA. Internally, it uses AOP. When we use at the rate transactional annotation, at the runtime, it creates a proxy class. And inside that proxy class, we can write logic for begin transaction, commit transaction, and roll back the transaction. If you want to get the granular level control, then we can go for isolation level and propagation level. If you want, then I can explain each of them.
Okay, so tell me about the that propagation level.
Okay. Basically, propagation level determines how one transaction is dependent on another transaction. And there are seven levels in propagation. First is required, second is required new, third is support, fourth is not supported, fifth is never, sixth is nested, and seventh is mandatory.
Okay, so tell me about that required new level.
Okay. In required new, if there is any existing transaction, then it will pause that existing transaction. And if there is no transaction, it will compulsory creates a new transaction.
Okay, good. So tell me about the isolation levels.
Okay. Uh, there are mainly four levels in isolation. First is read committed, second is read uncommitted, third is repeatable read, and fourth is serializable.
Okay. So okay. So read committed, right? So what does it mean?
Yes. Read committed means the transaction can read only committed data.
Okay. Okay. Good. So can you tell me about the hash code?
Okay, basically, hash code is a unique code for every object, and hash code method is provided by object class. And if you want to print the hash code, then we have to override the hash code method.
Okay, we have to call the hash code method.
Yes,
Okay. So can two objects have same hash code? You said right that there will be unique. Okay.
yes,
My
yes,
question is, can two objects have same hash code?
yes. Two object can have same hash code. For that, we have to override the hash code method.
Okay. Okay. So let's say I want to choose a collection which provide thread safety and performance also.
Okay, then we can go for concurrent collection.
Okay. And I want only thread safety, not performance. Then which collection?
And then we can go for vector.
Okay, vector. So you know vector, right? Okay,
Yes.
so tell me the difference between array list and vector.
Okay. Basically, array list is a class that implements the list interface. Also, vector is a class that implements the list interface. In array list, internally uses dynamic array to store the data, and in case of vector, vector also uses dynamic array to store the data. And but the key difference is vector is synchronized, whereas array list is not. And in array list, reading operation is very fast because it uses indexing to access any element with the same speed. In the case of vector, vector also uses indexing to access any element with the same speed.
Okay. So tell me about the equal method.
Okay, basically, equal method present in the object class, and equal methods internally use double equals to operator to compare the reference of the object. And if you want to compare the contents of the object, then we have to override the equals method.
Okay, good. So can you tell me about the toString method?
Okay, basically, toString method present in the object class. By default, toString method returns class name at the rate hash code in the form of hexadecimal string. And if you want to print the state of object, then we have to override the toString method.
Okay, good. So can you tell me about Hibernate?
Okay. Uh, Hibernate is a object relational mapping tool, and it allows us to connect Java entity class to the database table. And Hibernate uses Hibernate query language to perform database operation like insert, update, read, and delete. In Hibernate, we need two types of file. First is a hbm.xml file, and second is cfg.xml file. In hbm.xml file, we need to provide mapping between Java entity class and database tables. For example, suppose we have an employee class and we have employee table. For that, we need to provide mapping between them in the hbm.xml file. And second is cfg.xml file. Inside that cfg.xml file, we need to provide credential like username, database password, URL, and dialect, etc. And apart from this, we need a session to perform transaction and any other operation. We create session with the help of session factory, and session factory we create with the help of configuration object. And that configuration object is responsible for loading all the credentials. That's all
O-
about the Hibernate.
Okay, good. Can you tell me about the encapsulation?
Okay. Encapsulation is the process of binding the data into the single entity. We can achieve encapsulation by making all variables private, so no one can access it from outside the class. And also, we need to provide getter setter methods.
Mhm.
That's all about encapsulation.
Okay. Mm, okay, good. So let's say uh, if I want to remove the duplicates, okay, I want to choose a collection where I want to remove the duplicates. So which
Yes.
collection you will choose?
Uh, I will go for set.
Okay. So in the set, what are the implementation?
Set has implementation like has set, link has set, and tree set.
Okay. So let's say I want a collection where duplicates are not allowed, and I want to preserve the I want to maintain the insertion order. Then which
Then
hmm?
then we can go for link hash set.
Okay, good. Now, in the hash set, you said right, ki duplicates are not allowed.
Yes, sir.
Let's say I'm inserting employee one, employee two, employee three, employee four like this,
Yes.
and all the employees having the same data. So
Yes.
will it remove the duplicates?
So no, it will by default not remove the duplicate. For that, we have to override equals and hash code method.
Okay, good. Okay, so you said that you have to override the equal hash code method. Okay.
Yes.
Mm, okay. So can you tell me about the super keyword?
Okay. Basically, super is a keyword in Java. Super keyword refers to the immediate parent class. With the help of super keyword, we can access parent class variables methods, and also we can invoke the parent class constructor into the child class. That's all about super keyword.
Okay, so do you know about the get mapping versus post mapping?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So, get mapping is used to retrieve the data from the server, whereas the post mapping is used to set or create the new data
Okay.
uh, sent to the server. And the post mapping data is accessed in the form of request body. And in the case of put in the case of get mapping, data is exposed in URL.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yes,
Mm,
sir.
so what is the factory design? Do you know with design how many design pattern you know?
So there are three types of design pattern. First is a structural design pattern, second is creational design pattern, and third is behavioral design pattern. And all of this, I will know about the factory design pattern, template design pattern, and singleton design pattern.
Okay. So do you what is the difference between singleton bean and singleton object?
Okay. Singleton means it's created only once
Hmm.
for our in our entire program. And singleton class means it's we
Okay.
create singleton.
Okay, leave it, leave it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so um, can you tell me? Let me. Okay, so let me think.
Yes, sir.
So let's say I want a sorting order, and I don't want
Yes.
duplicates. So which collection you will use?
Sorting order and
So I want a sorting order and
okay.
don't want duplicates. Then
Then we can go for tree set.
okay, okay. So do you know about the comparator and comparable?
Yes.
So what is the difference between them?
Okay. Basically, comparable and comparator both are interface. In comparable, we use for single sorting order, and comparator we can use for the multiple sorting orders. And in comparable, there is a compare to method, and in comparator we have only compare method.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think we are good here,
Yes, sir.
Shubham. So
Yes.
how many days you are learning this or you joined
Uh,
the Amit IT?
from 1.5 month.
Okay, so almost 45 days.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good, but good progress. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so my feedback is overall you are good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And next time we'll take a demo on some advanced topics.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Definitely.
Yes. Okay. So I think we are
Yes.
good. Have a good night. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
Bye.